This the bunker, yeah, this the bunker. This the bunker, welcome to the bunker. This the bunker, yeah, this the bunker. This the bunker.
Good people, what's up? Let's go. Listen, we are in the bunker. Let me put this on Do Not Disturb because we're streaming live everywhere. Happy Wednesday. You're tuned into the Breakthrough Bunker where we don't run from the storm. We learn to dance in it. I'm your host, Murph, a.k.a. Mr. Motivation. Flat out excited to be here. Every guest on this stage has turned pain into purpose and broken dreams into blueprints for success. Today's guest is the Ché Anderson. My G. Oh, man. Teaser. What happens when art becomes policy, murals become mirrors, and creativity becomes a tool for collective healing? Whew. In this episode today, we sit with Ché Anderson, cultural architect, community advocate, and bridge builder on how imagination can transform cities and the people who call them home. Before we get into it, it's the 3-2-1 with Murph, where I share 3 thoughts, 2 quotes, and 1 prompt or question I have for you, the listener or viewer. But before I dive into that, we're going to pay the bills. Org Spotlight tonight is Patients Are Waiting. Patients Are Waiting exists because too many families are still waiting for equitable maternal care. Their mission is to end racial disparities by increasing Black and Brown clinicians and supporting families every step of the way. I believe in this work. Back it, tap in, patientsarewaiting.org. And stand with the mission. You know what I always forget, y'all, right? You know I forget the chat. The chat. Oh, man, hold on. Let me back. Actually, I'll do it in a minute. Once we will get in Ché acclimated. www.patientsarewaiting.org. Just drop that in the chat. Tap in our premier sponsor. You know what it is. Shouts out to my fam, my 8-Ball Energy fam, where energy meets culture. For those who move with purpose, from legendary energy shots to statement style, they're built to power your grind. Visit 8ballinc.com and use the code Mr. M Ship Free for free shipping. Power up and play bold, y'all. Love it. Let's get into the 3-2-1. All right, today we got 1. Culture is not decoration, it's infrastructure. Culture is not decoration, it's infrastructure. I like that a lot. We got public art and culture shape how people feel about where they live. I'm in the Worcester area, right? And you got the murals up, and we tap into that with Mr. Ché today. And you just walking through the streets, whether it's downtown or whatnot, you're like, dang, it's just the stories on walls. Beautiful, beauty. 2, creativity becomes power when it's rooted in community. Creativity becomes power when it's rooted in community. The most impactful creative work, doesn't speak for communities. It creates platforms where communities speak for themselves. It creates platforms where communities speak for themselves. And lastly, leadership is about access, not spotlight. Leadership is about access, not spotlight. True leadership means opening doors, redistributing opportunity, and making sure the next generation has room to rise. I know last week I was talking about leadership, and I said leaders build leaders. And we get into Mr. Ché. He's one of them dudes, them bridge builders, opening gates, making connections so people could leverage their creativity, their strengths, their gifts to maximize their potential. There's a book I always recommend, Simon Sinek, Leaders Eat Last. Tap in. Simon Sinek, Leaders Eat Last. 2 quotes. When people see themselves reflected in their city, they begin to believe they belong. When people see themselves reflected in their city, they begin to believe they belong. I like that one. 2, art doesn't just beautify a place, it humanizes it. It doesn't just beautify a place, it humanizes it. Armando, what up? My G. Gail. One reflective prompt for you, listeners and viewers. Where in your life or your community, could creativity be used not for applause, but for connection and change? Not for applause, but for connection and change. Whew. I'm going to do a little brief, I'll say brief, but it's Ché. So a brief bio of Mr. Anderson. Come to the stage. Our guest today is someone who doesn't just imagine better cities, he helps build them. One wall, one partnership, and one bold idea at a time. He's a cultural leader who understands that murals can shift mindsets, that creativity can influence policy, and that when people see themselves reflected in their surroundings, belonging begins. When people see themselves reflected in their surroundings, belonging begins. His work reminds us that art is not decoration, it is dialogue, resistance, and restoration. From transforming Worcester streets into living stories through over 100 murals, and he'll make sure he'll fact check me on this, to shaping civic and academic partnerships that bridge institutions with the communities they serve. He operates at the powerful intersection of art, equity, and action, whether in government, higher ed, or grassroots spaces. His leadership proves that culture is not peripheral to change. It is the change. Please, good people, super excited to welcome the big homie, Ché Anderson. Ché, what up?
I need you to give me a intro everywhere I go, brother. That just have me feeling good over here. I appreciate you.
I got you, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling blessed. I'm happy to be here to break bread and have some conversation with you.
Yeah. Listen, I appreciate you. I know your schedule's crazy. I'll get into my team in a minute. Ché, tell the people, we always kick it off like this. Tell the people how you know me. How you know Murph?
Yeah, so when you were making the trek up from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts, I had the privilege of meeting your partner. And in the first few minutes we sat down, she said, yeah, my husband, he's from New York. I said, I'm from New York. She said, he's from Brooklyn. I said, I'm from uptown. We got to connect. And it was really as simple as that, right? Just two brothers born and raised in New York City who've had life journeys that somehow brought them to Massachusetts at the same time, and we have to connect.
Yeah, let me tell you, I got this song called Friends, and when I did Friends, at first I think some of my friends had pissed me off, and I was just like, Friends, the word is so overused and watered down. Then I was like, hold on, self, you missed the motivation. You know what I mean? You need positivity,
right?
So I used that and I flipped it to like really give people who I've known over the course of time, who I call friends, consider friends like they're flowers, right? And I always tell people, give your friends, your family, their flowers while they're here to smell them. So I'm going to take this opportunity to give you some flowers, good brother, because coming up here, man, change is change. I'm a military dude, so I've lived, man, many lives in different places and always had to kind of, make a new home. But it was seamless. Like when I got up here, Sean Harris and you, two dudes. I was like, I don't know everybody, when I know the right people, you know what I mean? So I appreciate you for like just helping me to this transition, ushering me into this space, exposing me to different networks. So double salute to you, my G. Appreciate you.
You're ready. I think that it's easy because you approach so much with good energy and with love, and I think that when that's how you lead, it's easy for people to tap in with you.
Check. Yeah, my team, they was just like, Ché Anderson's on Wednesday. We can't get a hold of him. I said, wait, he owes you stuff? No, not Ché. What you mean? I said he's a busy dude. Yo, Ché reminded me. He be like, yo, Ché, what up? Where you at? Oh man, I wanted to pass real quick to grab some tea. Wait, what? What you mean? To grab some tea?
Oh, the tea's better over there. What can I say? You know what I'm saying?
I love it. I love it. Man, so many things. Mad titles, mad accomplishments. Let's start. Like, who was Ché when you was young? Who was young Ché? Oh, wait, Ché frozen? Hold on. We got a tech issue, y'all. Hold on now. He coming back. There you go. Yeah. He back. Yeah. So I was saying you accomplished a lot, but who was young Ché? Who was Ché when he was a young boy?
Yeah. I was an inquisitive kid, man. My mom, really encouraged my brother and I to be academics before almost anything, right? To ask questions, to read, to understand how important education was. And so I was that kid that had so many interests and that found myself trying to know a little bit about a lot. One of the things my mom had me do when I was a kid was if I wanted to watch TV at night, I would have to watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy with her, and I'd have to beat her in like a round, right? And I know now that was just her way of trying to watch her shows, but it was a great interactive opportunity for us, for me to, start deep diving into, Renaissance art or into, futurists from New York. It was a really cool thing that she did, and so I think that's kind of shaped me. If you know me now, you know me as a kid. I haven't changed too much.
Yo, I love that. I was definitely a Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy dude. Shouts out to Alex. Alex, what up?
For sure.
But so what was your household like? You talking about your mom? You had two parents, single?
No, so my mom was a single mom. In my household, I was born and raised in Amsterdam projects for a good chunk of the early part of my life, and so it was my mom, myself, my grandmother, my uncle, Earl, my brother, and then like a rotating cast of folk who kind of just needed to pop in. So cousins, aunts, friends of the family, kind of whoever needed a little space to kind of kick it with us, we figured it out. And then we moved uptown, and that was where my brothers that my step-pops moved with us. And so I had a cool sort of nuclear household for a bit of time before we went to college.
Check. And now you older, younger, brother?
I'm older. I have an older sister too, so I'm simultaneously youngest, an oldest, and a middle child.
Noted. Now, growing up, you talk about a lot of like fam. You had an example? Who was like the person that you wanted to like be like, or that influenced you the most?
My mom's. There's no question about that. I think that as I look back on it as an adult, there are little bits that I took from each of the adults that were consistent in the house, right? My uncle was a movie buff, a comic buff, and was so unafraid to be himself and nerdy. And I think I took that from him. Obviously, right behind me, you got a video game arcade. Like I'm in it. My grandmother, came up from Ridgeway, South Carolina to New York, and by the time that I was around, she would just clean houses, and it was so wild to see my grandmother get up and sort of put her pride to the side to do what she needed to get done for herself and go into some really wealthy people's houses and take care of that. And so my grit and my can-do attitude, I think I get from my grandmother. And then my mom is the closest thing I've seen to a superhero, not in a comic book or in a movie. She knew how to make something out of nothing. She knew how to use whatever superpower she needed in that moment to provide for my brother and I. So I think that, you know, from her, I learned a lot of love and a lot of strength. Yeah. So you know, I got it from a lot of different places.
Yeah. I sometimes, or oftentimes, when I start a talk off, it depends on the setting. I'm like, you know, all that I am and all that I ever will be, I owe to my moms. Because Mom Dukes was it. It's like, period. Nothing after that. You know what I mean?
For
So I
sure.
definitely like feel you on that. Wow. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
You talk grandmoms, moms, and you're uptown dudes. You know, I give you a pass. You know, we got love for y'all up there. You know what I mean?
That's 2025 Murph talking. I know back in the day, the uptown Brooklyn thing is a thing. You know, it's all right.
He said 2025. Yo, that's hilarious. So listen, this is a good segue because anytime I see you, you smiling, laughing, and I know a lot of dudes we don't do this. I've done this more at this stage in my life in terms of like answering my dudes. Yo, son, you good? How you? And I don't want to hear, nah, I'm good. Now, like how are you really doing?
Right.
You know, like I care. Because I remember, and I'll get back to this pen. I was talking to somebody and they said they was talking to this shorties from Europe. They were in Europe. And they said, you know, the dude had said, how you doing today? And Shorty was like, you must be American. You ask these questions and you really don't care about, you know, like, but I said that to say that like now I'm like, I be caring. I've lost so many dudes, specifically dudes in the last probably say 10 years, healthy, unhealthy, all the things, you know? And so when I see you, I always see you happy. And I got this one song I'm working on, Smiles Lie. Yeah, the mask be heavy because I think we as dudes, specifically dudes, shouts out to my ladies, but I'm a dude, so I got to talk to my dudes on behalf of my dudes. We wear this mask to cover everything up. But so, Ché, today, how are you doing? Are you okay? How's this year been for you?
All right, so a couple things. One, the person who told you that story was me, which makes me happy. It was. It makes me happy that you shared it back with me. I was in Denmark, and I saw these people sitting at like a big restaurant, and I said, "Hey, how are you doing?" And immediately she clocked that I was American, not because of my accent, but she said, "In America, you ask that question and you don't really care the answer.
Right.
In Denmark, that's a prodding question because we'll tell you how we're doing." So that's, you know,
yo, that's hilarious because I forgot. I own it now though.
I love that, right? No, that's why I love it. That's why I love it. It's amazing. You know, I'll be honest, Matt. You know, and you know this, right? Because we talk for real in real life. But I'm fine sharing it. You know, this year has been one of the more difficult years of my life. I'll preface that by saying there's so many great things that I've been able to experience, and so many great people I've been able to meet and spend time with, and opportunities that have come my way this year that, you know, young me couldn't even imagine was possible. And in the same breath, I've had a lot of family loss this year. You know, I lost my father, I lost my mother, and I lost my grandmother all over the course of the year. And that's just family. I a couple of friends as well. But so it's been a long year of grief and learning how to deal with grief, and how to shoulder that. And you know, I think you said it's right. I think men, and I'll be honest, like I think particularly as a Black male, you know, there's a lot of stigma around having your head down or having grief or being upset, right? You just got to pick it up and kind of you bear it and keep kind of moving, right? There's a very famous poem, "We Wear the Mask," and I think that you learn a lot about how we're supposedly supposed to act through that. But I also know, you know, having the people in my life that I mentioned, my mom, my grandmother, my uncle, and such, what they taught me so often was that, you know, you need to take the time, you know, deal with what you got to deal with, but like life kind of goes on. And so my sense of self has always been, no matter what's happening, you got to kind of keep it going and you got to keep spreading good vibes and positivity. And, you know, I'm going through what I'm going through, but if I greet you with a smile and that helps brighten your day, then like I'm still finding ways to pass good, positive, strong opportunities along. So all that to say, Today I'm doing all right. Today's a better day. You know, what tomorrow is to bring, but right now I'm in a great space, and I feel real loved, which isn't a thing that I think a lot of men say out loud all the time. But like, today is a day where like from my community, I feel it, and so that's how.
No, I appreciate that, man. That's three heavy ones this year, boy. What? So, like I've dealt with loss, not that close. Well, my grandparents, yeah, but you know, my grandparents in Barbados, so it wasn't like every day I'm seeing you kind of vibe. What have you been doing? Because for someone that's out there that may be dealing with loss as well, what'd you do to kind of pick yourself back up? Or I'm sure it's ongoing process. It's not going to like be a thing. So just for anybody listening that might help them.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the first thing, and it was something that someone said to me, and I sort of like was like, all right, but the more I sat with it, there's no timeline on grief, right? Like if you're a person that's working and you are lucky enough to have like bereavement time, you got a few days to be sad, right? And then you gotta get back to work, right? But that's not how long sadness lasts. And so what do you do when you're not feeling great and you got to go in and perform, or you got to go in and deal with those calls or those meetings, or you got to deal with people? And to people who are dealing with that, what I say is what you got to do is your best. Right?
Wait. Check. Oh, there you go. Go ahead.
So I said, there's a buddy of mine named Gary, and Gary introduced me to a phrase called level best, right? And by that he said, I know what my 100% looks like. When I slept well, when I ate well, when I'm on one, right? I know what I can give when I got 100. I don't have 100 every day, right? Some days I didn't sleep well. Some days I might have had a couple drinks. Some days I might have ate something that upset me. Some days I might be sick. My kid might be sick. My wife might be sick. I might have something going on. So all I have that day to give is 30%. But I still show up and I give that 30%, right? That's effectively you giving 100. It don't look like what your 100 is.
Right.
100, right? And so I think that when I say to those people who may be having a tough time, one, kind of dealing with whatever else is going around them, all you can do is give your level best. And you know if you're giving that, so that's all you can put out. Besides that, to take work and all that stuff outside of it, I would recommend, getting a grief counselor, getting a therapist, getting somebody you can talk to. I know that you hopefully you have friends or loved ones you can chat with, but if not, there are people that are equipped to deal with you in those times. And if you can't do that, a buddy of mine is an artist out of Memphis named Birdcap, wrote this graphic novel called The Grief Manual, and that has been very helpful for me during this year. It's funny, it brings you to tears, it's beautiful, but it helps you navigate some of the questions you might have when you're grieving. So that's what I've been on.
Woo, some nuggets there. Level best is funny. It made me think of, I like that term. Still in it. I'm gonna quote you 3 times, then it's mine. The 4 agreements. It talks about always do your best. And to Ché's point, every day ain't gonna be 100%, but that don't mean this ain't 100% of what I got today.
Right.
So I like that. But level best, I like it. It's short and it's quick. I like that. Oh man. Interesting. So wait, Ché, let's go to college. Well, what's your degree? I don't even know what your degree is in.
I got a degree in good vibes, brother. That's it. I'm just
Clearly, right?
I got a degree. My first degree was from the College of the Holy Cross. I got a bachelor's in political science with a concentration on peace and conflict studies. So it's like international relations, policy-driven sort of ideology. And then I received my master's from Clark University, where I got a master's in public administration with a concentration in senior leadership. Yes, sir.
Interesting.
Yes, sir.
It all makes sense now. Yep, I'm connecting. I'm picking it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So how was college for you? You went high school, college?
No. I went high school, college, 10 years of work, college. So from high school, you know, my mom was very much like, you're going to college. And this is me as like a 2-year-old. She's telling this to. You go get out my house and go to college. And so I ended up coming to Worcester, Massachusetts, which I wasn't super familiar with. And so I went from being a person who had no idea this city existed to being one of its biggest cheerleaders, biggest fans, and so happy and honored to live here. And so I go to Holy Cross, and during my 4 years there, I wasn't sure about Worcester, right? I was supposed to go to law school. I was pre-law, and I figured this was sort of a stop en route to law school. And I took what I thought was a gap year, and that gap year is still going strong. You know what I mean? I think it's been a gap 14 right now, but who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows?
Decade. Yeah.
gap couple decades almost.
Right.
But so I had the opportunity to work at a college first. I worked at Mass College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences, being their student engagement person. And after about 2.5 years there, I went and had a chat with a mentor of mine, and he was the newly appointed interim city manager. And he said he'd be working there for 6 months, and I should come work with him for 6 months. 6 months became 7 years. And in that time, sort of found my cultural opportunities to start flourishing. And then UMass came calling, and I've been there. This is my 5th year there, which is sort of nuts how fast that happened. And in the midst of all that, Clark started a brand new program, and I had an opportunity to be part of the pilot class. And I just I have to give a shout out to my classmates because they are just rock stars, right? Like we had a class full of really talented people, and they went on to become elected officials and people who manage and run nonprofits and people who just do really great stuff in their communities. So it makes it easy to learn when you have dynamic people around you.
Oh, my head's on fire. I'm like, where do I go next? With your blurb. So a few things. That's dope. That speaks a lot to remember. He says environment, proximity is power. It's who you're around. What are they doing? I told my students the other day, there's somebody in here, 3 or 4 of y'all gonna run the world in the next 10 to 15 years. Tap in. You talk about mentors, you talk about college. So I have students again. So we got recent high school grads. I got I did high school, went to college, took a gap 3 years, some took a gap decade. What advice would you give to some say my students listening and are unsure what career path to take?
My first day in my master's course, we all sat together, and one of our advisors came in and said, all right, pop quiz. What's more important, what you know or who you know? And most of us had heard that before, and so we all kind of like, well, you know, it's who you know. And he said it was a trick question. The real answer in today's society is who knows you, right? Your name is going to travel way further than you are, right? If you're doing the right work or the wrong work, to be honest. And so with that, how are you meeting people and ensuring that they're moving through other spaces, but carrying your name with them? And so to anyone that's in school right now and, you know, they're sure of themselves, or you're not sure, I would say the best advice I can give you is, to Murph's point, tap in with people, right? Meet people, ask to go out for coffee, send that email to someone you don't know, reach out through social media to a stranger that you admire, and don't be afraid, embarrassed, or shy to say, hey, I just think you do amazing work, and I'm curious if we can have some time to chat about it, right? Some people won't respond to you. That's just people's prerogative, and that's fine. But you'd be surprised how many people will. I cannot tell you how many people, in theory, I have no business knowing, right? That I emailed, that I messaged, that I heard was doing a project, and I pulled up and was like, hey, you did this thing that was really inspiring, and like my mind is sort of spinning in this way. I'd love to chat with you. And they're like, oh, bet, yeah, let's, you know, here's my number, here's my email, let's tap in. And that opportunity, I'll be honest, has gotten me further than any degree could have.
Wow. It's fun. I spent probably last 30 days with my students. We talked about a lot of Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends, Influence People, How to Make Yourself Unforgettable. I'm like, I told him, pick up some of these skills, because to Che's point, that's what it's about. Like meeting and greeting, being comfortable. I was telling him, you know, I learned this. If Che's a dude that's like got that confident swag, I'm gonna run up on like, yo, Che, really appreciate you. I love your confidence, your swag. Can you teach me how to be like you? And like a real question, and then not being afraid of saying, I like this, I want it. So, and the one thing that stops us from getting what we want is answering the question, making the ask. So I like that a lot. You talk about mentors. How important was mentors for you? You had a lot of mentors along the way?
Ton. A billion% important.
Wow.
Infinite important. I always get so frustrated when people talk about being self-made. You know, because honestly, if there's someone out there that is 100% self-made, shout to them. Like I would love to hear more about how you did that, because I don't think that's possible. I think you pick up so many gems and jewels from people around you all the time, whether that's siblings, parents, cousins, whether that was that teacher at school that told you could keep going, that other educator, that guidance counselor, that coach, that stranger, right? Like there's so many people that pour into you as an individual that you don't even recognize. And so for me, you know, I think back, you know, in junior high school, I had a teacher, Mr. Carrero, who taught me public speaking. People often will give me like props on my ability to speak publicly. And I often laugh and say, I used to have this really crazy stutter. I still speak really quickly, but I spoke faster, if you could believe that. And Mr. C is who got me to slow down and appreciate that people wanted to hear what I had to say. And then I get to high school, and there were two brothers. I went to a Catholic high school, shout to Rice High School in Harlem. And brother Sherlock is the person who told me I should go to Holy Cross, that I would flourish if I went there. And brother Tyrone was one of the first Black lawyers that I knew, right? Like not so on TV, but like that I could ask questions of and watch him read the New York Times. And he's one of the first people to show me how you actually.
Wait. You froze, Che. Hold on. Give him a second, y'all. There you go. He back.
I gotta figure this out. That's crazy.
We're gonna push through. Right. You said you had the first lawyer that you could tap in with.
Brother Tyrone, like, was just like the greatest intellectual I knew at that time. Right? He was willing to have tough conversation and powerful discourse, and he made a seminar for me to sit with him and read the paper. He's the first person that showed me how to appropriately fold the New York Times. You know what I mean? I'm out here reading it like this. Like he was like, nah, you gotta, you know. But it's funny because at the time I thought nothing of it, but when you take public transit, particularly in a place like New York City, I'm sure it's the same in Boston or any other major metropolitan area, not knowing how to appropriately fold that newspaper sends a signal to other people reading that newspaper. Right? And so something as simple as that was a gem that he gave to me. And so I go from that to college where, you know, Dr. Bush, Servio Mariano, fellow Rice brother a few years ahead of me, caught me as an 18-year-old who came straight from New York, very uptown. And he poured into me and helped mold me into the young man that was going to go off and do some of the things I wasn't able to do. You know, I mentioned earlier, you know, Ed Augustus, who's now the Secretary of Health and Human Services, caught me as a young 20-something and saw that there was potential in the energy and connection points and excitement that I had. And so, like, truly, it's been a thing, you know, up until now where I, you know, my current boss, a guy by the name of John, is an amazing mentor. He's so willing to just give experience and advice and to listen. And, you know, I think that's great. And these are just the ones I mentioned from work or like from school, right? There's so many other people that I've met along the way that have taught me a gem. And so I want to say I'm lucky. And I also ask. I'm not afraid to ask the question. I'm not afraid to ask for help. And so it's allowed for people to sort of come and put their hands you know, on my spirit and go, all right, let's get you where we need to go.
Hey, before I forget, I remember you told me the story about your name.
Yeah.
Give us, I'm sure this is an abbreviated version. Give us the abbreviated, or give the whole version.
No, I got you. I keep it quick. My father's name was Albert, and he wanted me to be Al as well. So I was gonna be Alexander. I don't know if you could see me as an Alex, but that was almost possible. And then my mother wanted a name that was a little more unique, with all due respect to people named Alex. And so my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, was a Black Panther. And so she raised my father with that ideology, and he wanted to give me a name that stood out. And so, having been a fan of, I think, the way in which Che Guevara was interested and willing to go out utilizing guerrilla warfare to do some powerful things, I got the name Che. And I got a lifetime of learning about Che Guevara and the very sort of nuanced man that he was.
Dope. Yeah, I remember you telling me, I said, oh, this is okay.
Yeah.
It's Che, you know, it's like I don't know, think I may have never heard someone called named Che before. So I was like, damn, I love that story. Thanks for sharing. Che. D, unique is right. Yes. Yes. Now, you do a lot community-wise. You rock with board service, right?
Sure.
So, one, how'd you get into board service? And two, I found a lot of youthful people ain't even on that wave.
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
I'll take I got into board service when I was in my early 20s, and it was really just I was trying to find ways to build relationships in a community that was new to me. And I was going around, right? I had no wife, no kids, no family nearby, so I had a lot of time and again, just energy. And so I started asking people, how could I assist? And eventually you start joining committees. And so I was on, the Stand Against Racism committee at the YWCA, and I was on the Breakfast Club committee at the Chamber of Commerce. And then before I knew it, I got involved with the local Rotary Club. And I was elected as a Rotarian. I was the youngest person on the Rotary Club.
Wow.
And so from there, you just talk about service. And that was always a big tenet of mine through my.
Oh, we got a froze. Hold on. Stop your thought.
Check.
Here we go. Oh yeah, he back. Yeah.
I said, from my family was extremely big into service. And so it wasn't about what you can go get. It was about what you can go get and then bring back to the community. And so I started, trying to get involved with, like I said, committees, working groups, and then boards. To be honest, I don't think I was a great board member at 24. Right. I didn't fully understand it. But as time went on, and as I met great board members and people who were doing service work, it allowed for me to learn, to grow, and to keep giving it. And so since I was 24 years old, I've never not been on a board of some organization. Just to give of my time, talent, or treasure, whatever I had at the time. And so to anybody who's young, here's what I'll tell you. Board service works both ways, inward and outward, right? There's what feeds you and feeds your spirit and allows you to do for the people that you see maybe every day or that are in your community. There's what you can output and help others that may be having difficult experiences or living different situations other than yourself. But then there's also the internal piece where you grow your skills and your tool set, right? And you grow your network, because people that volunteer for board service are people you get to connect with, tap in with, build with, have a meal with. And that allows for you to grow in your career as well. And so I think that it very much is give and take. Hopefully it's a lot more give than take.
Right, for sure.
But I think it's something, anyone who is a a young professional, an established professional, or someone on the back nine, so to speak, I hope that you look into organizations around you and you give of your time.
I like that. Young professional, established, the back nine. When does the back nine start? I'm just
Hey, look, I'm not here to tell anybody when the back nine start. You start the back nine when you feel like it's appropriate. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, it's some people in my life that I thought I was a wordsmith. Like my girl, Dr. Livingston out of Lancaster. Oh man, I can listen to y'all all day. Take notes. I'm gonna steal it. Make no mistake about that. Board service. So Ché, how do you choose which board you go on?
It's a great question. That is a great question. From the beginning, I think that I would advise people to look at organizations around them and figure out whose mission, vision, and values best align with your own. Right? If you're a person that's about impacting young people, go find youth serving organizations. If you're a person that's about food security, figure out their local food banks and pantries. If you're a person that's about, working with seniors, right? Are there senior care opportunities for you to go and tap in with somebody? If you're a person who's about housing, right? Are there nonprofits that are focused on things like community action and civic engagement? If you're a person that, isn't sure what specific thing you want to get into, maybe there are young professional organizations around you, right? Not necessarily a board for you to get in with, but go to that young professional organization, meet some young professionals and see what they got going on. And that'll kind of help tap you in. At this point, for me, I try to find organizations that are, service related. I try to find organizations that are uplifting young people. I try to find organizations invested in the arts, because arts and culture, I think, some people have different sayings of what it is. Is it the backbone? Is it the secret sauce? It's everything. Without culture, we have nothing. And so I'm very, very much interested in continuing to work with culture like this. I have the Worcester Arts Council on my hoodie. I've never been a member of the Worcester Arts Council. I'm just a fan. And so like this is just me shouting out an organization that does really great work.
I gotta tap into them. I don't think I got introduced to them. Their name sound familiar. I might have met the ED or something, but yeah, tap me in.
Sure.
Great segue ish. So you a New York dude?
For sure. Hold on. Yeah.
He be repping heavy. But you came to Worcester. If I ain't know no better, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And I've lived a lot of places, and it's not easy for someone who's not from there to come in and, not get pushed back in the city like he ain't really with us. Big fish, small pond trying to take over. I've dealt with that, all my life. So hold on, Ché froze. We wait it out. Hold on now. He back in 5. All right, here we go. Yeah. So I've dealt with that. So I am like wow as to what you've done here. Shouts out to you, the community has embraced you, the work you're doing. But talk me through how you pull that off, 1, and 2. Tell me the story. It was powerful. I didn't forget. I just the context. I need to tell me again. I might need to hear 2 more times. Your Doritos story.
Oh yeah. Got you. So as far as getting in with community, I wish there was something that I could like bottle up or like write a book about and try to sell it and be like, oh, this is the reality is you just show up. There's a person who once told me that life and the rules and policies are written by those who show up. Right? Whether that's going to a school committee or city council meeting, whether that's just showing up. And if you go to a bar or restaurant over and over again, you become a regular, right? Now, when you're a regular, you get certain perks by being a regular, right? Left your wallet at home that day, it's cool, we got you. Don't worry about it, right? It's your birthday, you might get an extra appetizer, extra shot or something like that, right? They take care of you because you've shown that you've invested in that restaurant or bar. I don't think cities are that much different. I think if you show up and you show up with good attitude, with good vibes, if you show up and you know you find ways to again give more than you take, I think people embrace you and they want to take care of you, and that's what I think I've experienced here. There was a project I was able to be a part of, our mural project, which I heard you mention in the intro, and we did almost 200 murals in 4 years, which is fantastic. And then they went on to do more even after I was only a part of the project. But at one point we were talking about impact and community, and I had been listening to a marketing talk. I listen to a lot of marketing talks. I would say even if you're not a person in marketing, you trying to market yourself, you trying to get interviews and opportunities, you should listen to marketing conversations. And there was this one person who asked, why is it that when you eat Doritos, you get that like orange cheesy finger? And his response was that like, you don't actually need that dust to get the flavor that's in the chip, right? But that an essential part of eating Doritos is having those cheesy fingertips. Right. If you look at somebody's hand, you know, that person just had like some Doritos or something. And as I thought about that phrase, it's something that really stuck with me and resonated, right? Because it provided an experience that otherwise wouldn't have existed, to send home the idea that you had this one product. And so I often think, what is the thing that I could bring or that a project can bring that leaves that sort of impact? As individual people, our own, you know, orange Dorito dusted fingerprints all over a community. And that's what I've been trying to do in Worcester, just to leave some things behind and to hope that, you know, when all is said and done, the city was left in a better place, hopefully because of some things that I was able to do.
Hey, Ché, I need you, when you get a moment, text me or email me that blurb. I gotta study that. That is masterful. What could I do to leave that sort of impact? Like, man, when you told me that story, I forgot everything else you was talking about. I was just like, Doritos, the dust. So they don't have to have the dust? Why do they have the dust? Yo, I was just, because I just love words, and I love, because what Jay said, I paint pictures with poems. And that right there, like, you could just captivate me again, just hearing it. Man, somebody said, Ché tries to leave Dorito dust in his trail. Got it. That's it. Yo. Oh, man. All right. Whoa, that was good. Dang, where I wanted to go after that. That was the Dorito thing. I got the Ché name. I have to remember these things. These are beautiful. Woo! So, what would you've accomplished so much in life? Like, what's something what's a big goal? I don't even ask this often, but what's a big goal for Ché? What's a dream that you comfortable sharing?
Man, I'll be honest, I got so many, man. I have, like, you know, I know it's a bit of an archaic thing. Like, I have a bucket list. Like, I keep a bucket list of things that I want to do.
Hold on. You froze. Give me a second. See, his energy, he's shifting. Was it spectrum out here? I don't even think they got enough power for him tonight.
Yeah, it might be that. It might be that. We got a highlight spectrum. Tell them to figure this out. You know, so yeah, like I have an actual active bucket list. Like when I turned 30, I wanted to go skydiving. That was on my list of things I wanted to try out. And it was great. Right, it's still here. You know, I'll tell you two things that are on my list that I want to make happen. Thing number one is, at some point before I'm no longer here, I'd love to run for office. Right. I don't know what that office is yet. I'm not sure how that works, but I'd love to like truly dive into being like a public servant and representing people. I think that'd be cool. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be difficult. But I think that I have the you know, wherewithal and the spine and to make it happen. Right. So that's one. Two, and this is a bit more out there. As you know, Murph, the world might not know, I'm a big sneaker person. I love footwear. I love sneakers, right? I would love to have like a sneaker. I think that's like a very selfish one, but I think it'd be cool. I
like that. I like that.
Like a me sneaker that I could like give out. Like not just for me to have it, but like it'd be cool if I could like work on it and then get it out to like the homies. You know what I mean? Like that would be the craziest thing to me.
Yo, love those two. I was trying to remember. The term is misogi. Misogi. It's like these. Cause we go through the years and it's like, what have you done this year? You gotta do like one
Yep.
game changing thing, and every quarter you do another thing. And so I've been on that kick. You know what I mean? I had a crazy year, but yeah, there's a line I have on one of my new songs. Dream big. I dream big dreams, live them out, and dream bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because oftentimes, and I tell this story about, I had a doctor before, my homie's physician, just depressed. Life is this, and he ain't feeling that. And it's like, bruh, you making X amount of dollars. You got the high rise. But here's the thing, listeners and viewers. The big dream was to be a doctor. Accomplish. You got to dream bigger.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because you're going to sit here now, you tapped out. You're like, what else is there? I ain't got no, well, you got to dream bigger. So I love that you say that. I love office for you. Let me tell you a story. I'm in PA, right? And, everybody always say, oh, Murph, education, you military, you're a speaker. Like, you need to be in. So they hoodwinked me to get curious about running for the judge. Yeah. So I was like, I can do this. And I love a challenge too. It's in an area that never had a black judge, all the things. And I'm like, nah, I'm about to crush this. But then I started diving deeper, and he was like, yeah, the judge, presides every day. I said, every day I gotta be in the chambers? I said, that sounds like a job. I said, nah, I won't say it. Just like that. I was no longer interested, Ché.
I agree with you entirely on like trying to find different goals, right? Like I think that there's a reason why they tell you to have like short-term, mid-term, long-term goals. Right? I think it keeps you inspired, and I think that it's important to find something that challenges you consistently, right? Like have something in your life that you're not good at that you can move forward. Right? There's that what's that old quote? Fate whispers to the warrior, you cannot withstand the storm, and the warrior whispers back, I am the storm. It's one of my favorite ones that I hold with me because like that's how I want people to approach things, right? Like, oh, like you're not gonna be able to do it. This thing is too hard, and it should be like, nah, I'm built for this.
Yo, hold on, I'm here again. This back. Fate whispers to the warrior, you can't withstand the storm.
Yep.
The warrior whispers back,
I am the storm.
I am the storm. What? Oh, whispers back, I am the storm. Oh man, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Yo, it's funny. So you said, damn, what'd you say? You said something about the dream. Oh, a lot of things that separate the UMEs and the mere mortals, right, is they don't want to be not good at something, right? They're like, no, I got these titles. But I really want to play the guitar. I just don't want to suck at the guitar. Well, buddy, that's what's going to happen. It's like the cycle of life. You know what I'm saying? You got to go through that thing, stink it up for a while, keep at it, get a little better, keep at it. Then you become, okay, now you're getting a little better. Now we hitting some momentum. And then eventually you hit mastery. And that's what a lot of people, they don't want to be the freaking new guy or gal when they started something. Bro, me, I'm here for all the smoke because I know it's temporary.
Right.
Merck's gonna figure it out.
Right. And even if you don't, there's beauty in that. Right?
Yeah.
One is an artist named Chantel Martin, fantastic artist, better person. One day I was at a show she did. She curated art at a ballet, and she came out and said, how many people in the audience are artists? And like 2 people raised their hand in like a multi-thousand person venue. And she goes, that's super weird. How many people in here ever drew something and gave it to a parent or guardian to like put on the fridge. And everyone's hand went up, right? And she goes, so explain to me how you were an artist, and now you're looking at me as adults, all looking fine in your fancy clothes, and now you're not an artist. What happened in that time? And she goes, I'll tell you, at some point, you had an assignment to draw something, to write something, to dance, and someone in your class, in your school, wrote, drew, danced better. And you decided that person's an artist. I'm gonna stick to math or whatever it is, right? And it's like we have to take away the gatekeeping of that, right? There's a difference between being an artist and being what we would consider like a master artist.
Right.
Like everyone should have some sort of art practice. Everyone should take stake in that claim of an artist. You might not be a working artist, right? You're not a person who makes their living off of art. But yeah, have a little something on the side that like is just for you. That's your little art practice, you know?
Yeah. I like that a lot. It's funny you say that because, you know, for those that know, man, I know I'm a musician, right? And it took me time to even embrace that because it's not something I grew up doing. I had no background. I just decided there's this thing I wanted to do, and it was hard, and I leaned into it. And then even putting out the song after song, I was still like, I mean, am I ish? But then I had, you know, the Brooklyn kicks in. You know, I'm like, I'm from Brooklyn, so I'm a musician. But you get more comfortable when the more you practice, the more stages I'm on. But to Ché's point, you know, we just gotta really embrace our gifts. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there's levels. Someone may be operating at a higher level. That's fine. I'm operating and I'm happy. You know what I mean? And that matters. Ché, 18-year-old you. Okay. What will 18-year-old you looking at you today be surprised at and most proud of?
18-year-old me be surprised that I can grow facial hair, honestly, because that was crazy back in the day. It was, you don't understand. I couldn't, for the life of me, I couldn't really like do nothing. No. I think 18-year-old me, to be honest, would be surprised I'm still in Worcester. I think 18-year-old me would have assumed I'd be in New York or LA or London or like some other mass metropolitan area because that's all he knew. Right? He only knew big cities. And so I think he'd be shocked by that. And then once he kind of heard the story, he'd be really just proud. He'd be really, really excited. You know. I'm sorry, what was the second part of that question? I totally blanked on that, you said.
No. What would 18-year-old you be most proud of that you've accomplished in life?
I think you know, so much I think of my life and just being was trying to make my mom proud. Like that was always like the number one thing I like cared about, right? Every opportunity, every news article, every podcast, like it was like, mom, look, I did this thing, right? And so I think that 18-year-old me, if he somehow popped in here right now, would be most proud that we made mom proud. Yeah.
I love that. Shouts out to moms of the world, Mom Dukes, your Mom Dukes, the fam. So wait, what does Ché do for fun? See how we pivot?
I watch my Knicks win. I do that now. That's nice. It's nice to say. Watch my Knicks win a championship. I love people, man. Like I love live events, live music, live art. You know, obviously I play video games. I read a lot of comic books, to be very honest.
Wait, hold on. Spectrum ain't making us be great. Hold on. This too shall pass, y'all. Thanks for tapping in, IG. What up? Who that? Chef, what up? Adriana, what up?
Check.
Yeah, here we back. He back. Yeah. So comic books, read comic books.
I said I started running a couple years ago, and not like from anything, which is crazy. I just be running. So that's been nice. I I do that a lot for fun. I like to watch movies, like to snuggle up, like to watch some shows. You know, it's a bunch, man. I'm such a fan of the world and of things, and so I'm a fan of finding new things and trying new things.
What's the next destination? I know your passport got tattooed.
I'll be honest, man. The next few trips are all domestic, man. You know, back home to the crib for a little bit.
Yep.
I'm gonna go to Alabama for the first time in January. I'm really excited to see Alabama. You know, go down there near Mobile.
Okay. Yeah, I got some folk down there, Phoenix City, Alabama. You know?
Okay, I might need to tap in with them, see what's going on.
Yeah.
And then one of the places. There've been two places that I've had on my to-go list for years, and I haven't made it yet. And they are Tokyo, and I really want to go to Accra in Ghana. And so one of those two places is getting crossed off my list this coming year.
Oh, that's heavy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I haven't done Tokyo yet. I may have landed in there for a second, but I ain't step out. But Korea, I'm a fan, and Thailand, buddy. If you want to, I give you an itinerary for that trip.
Yeah. We'll make it happen. We're gonna go.
Let's do it. I'm with it. Let me see. I probably got about 3 more. Do I got 3 more? Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah.
I mean, I got. We could go.
I'm saying, we chop. So,
so let's see. What inner doubt? We're gonna peel back the onion real quick, y'all. Stay with us. What inner doubt or limitation did you have to outgrow to fully step into leadership in public spaces?
So there are two things I'll be very honest of, and I'm gonna give them both because one of them I'm still outgrowing. Right. My biggest fear for most of my life has been failure. Right. Right. That whole like I will not lose mentality. And so you don't realize how much of a limitation that can be on you as a person. If you're so afraid to fail, it's hard to jump out there. And so that's been something I've been sort of struggling with and moving back and forth on. And I feel like I'm winning right now, but the hope is to continue winning that fight.
Right.
The second, which I think can be very difficult for young people, but anyone really in any field, I think we have such a culture in this country that tells you to put your head down, get your own, don't really worry about the people around you, worry about yours. And when you're in environments that can lead to you shelling yourself off from people around you because you're just focused on your own gains. And one of the things I think I learned early in my career is that, it's something you heard me say before, right? It's not always many of us, but it's plenty of us. We have to figure out ways to build collectively to make sure everybody eats in different ways. And so I think that was a lesson that I had to learn, that it's not about me getting on. It's about like we getting on,
I remember you made me think. I had this sergeant supervisor when I was in the military, and he'd always say, you'd better get yours because I'm gonna get mine. And I used to be like, damn, like you ain't gonna help us get ours too,
Right.
I took that and I knew what kind of leader I did not want to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know what I did not want to be. What's a hard truth about leadership or impact that no one prepared you for, but experience taught you anyway?
Not everybody who is put in a leadership position or a management position is a good leader or manager. Sometimes we just have systems situated where if you're a good worker and you want more money, now they got to give you staff. Right? If you've been around a place long enough where you know the right person, they'll put you in a leadership position. But just because that person's in a position of leadership or management does not automatically make them a good leader or manager. That is something you have to work at.
Now, expanding on that ever so slightly, do you subscribe to the 48 laws of power? Rule number 1: never outshine the master. Recognizing the master leader, manager may not be really equipped to lead?
I think that if you are a person that does the work, that shows up for people, that shows up for community, and you show the qualities that you also can lead, it is a matter of time before somebody gets you in that position. Right? It's your job to be great. Right? People are attracted to greatness. And so it may not be in the same space you're in. It may not even be from a person you know. But if you continue at that level and you continue doing great things, it is a matter of time before you become a magnet.
I like that. I'm going to slide back to some of the things you did. So you've operated and navigated art, government, academia, civic leadership, spaces that, you know, one would say weren't necessarily designed with Black dudes in mind. Now, what's it really been like navigating these spaces as yourself?
It's hard. It's hard. Depending on who you talk to, people will try to change and mold you to whoever it is they think you need to be, or whoever they need you to be in that moment. You know, one of the things that I think I've had to learn and grapple with is, like, to be honest, right? Learning how to code switch, knowing when and if to code switch, right? Like, I've Sean, you're one of the people who's heard like most of my voices. You know what I mean? Like you see me in like my most like upkept sort of space. You see me when I'm being my most back home authentic self. I think that it's a tough thing, but one thing that I do try to do is inject as much of my authenticity as I can into almost every space, right? Like, you need to, you know, for a long time, people would meet me and say, "You're from New York City," and they had this idea of what New York City is. I'm from Amsterdam projects. I'm from uptown, right? And some of that is really just me reclaiming that, like, you have no idea, right? Like where I'm from. You know, we've talked, like, one of the most important things to me always is that I grew up in projects next to Lincoln Center. We grew up in projects while looking at affluence. Like, it's just an interesting dynamic for a child to experience. But all of that makes me who I am now. And I'm extremely proud of and happy to be who I am now. And so I think that's how I've been able to navigate that. And to be very honest, you know, I've met a lot of really good, solid people that have upkept me and uplifted me and provided space for me to do that. So you mentioned someone like Sean Harris, who's one of those brothers that does that, right? My guy Quincy is another brother that I know I could rap with and I could chop with on that kind of level. You know, my homegirl Janae is one of those people, right? Like they look like me. They come from similar places that I come from, and they allow you to know, like, it's all right to be all right. And it's not all right. It's all right if you're not all right. Like, you know, figure that piece out and be yourself.
Anytime you went in a space, in this, you know, over the course of time, where you felt like you didn't belong, and it was like,
oh yeah. I mean, there are some spaces that I've been in where it's not so much I feel like I don't belong, but I feel like the space and the people in the space are telling me I don't belong. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, this ain't for you. And I'm, you know, I'm from uptown, so I'm hard-headed. So sometimes, so there are times where I'm like, nah, I'll be all right. I'm gonna figure this out.
Right.
And then there are other times where you really have to sort of take a step back and say, like, do I really want or need to be in this space? Right? Because there's spaces that they'll sell you, like, you need to, you know, they talk about having a seat at the table, and people will tell you forever, you really want to have a seat at the table. You may get a seat at that table, and you're like, this table's trash. The chairs are uncomfy. I don't right. Food here is subpar, right? Like, why am I at this table? And then that's an opportunity for you either to continue being at the table because you're told that's where you're supposed to be, or to find another table, or to become a carpenter and build another table. Like, there's so many options and opportunities for you. But if you let them tell you there's only one table, you'll move through life thinking that's it. There's so many other table space. You don't even need a table. Pull out a little rug and just kick it, right? Like that's also an opportunity.
Wow. What's a a moment, breakthrough or breakdown, that shaped Ché's path? Wait, Ché's on froze. Hold on, let's give him a minute. Spectrum, what up? Shouts out to Spectrum. Oh, he back.
We got to get Spectrum as a sponsor to fix this up. That's what we got to do.
Sure. What's a moment, breakthrough or breakdown, that has shaped Ché's path?
That's a great question. All right. So around 2013, I'm 2 years out of college. I'm not in law school. I felt like a complete failure. I was living in Worcester. I had a job, but I felt like all that my family had poured into me, I wasn't reciprocating because I wasn't doing the thing I thought was my chosen path. And then one night, I'm out with some friends. It's late. It's New York City. And we stumble upon artwork from the artist Banksy, who was in New York doing his residency. And over the next few weeks, I meet people who are also like stumbling over these works, chasing these works down, or work gets done by my mom's house. And I was enamored by the people response, the human response to what was happening. People that were traveling to see this work, people that were having discourse with strangers around this work, people that were in a world that's really divisive, finding ways to come together around this artist. And something just kind of grew inside me where I was like, oh man, where else is this happening? And I start looking for other cities and towns where it's happening. And I start researching these places because I'm just an academic at heart. And before I know it, I'm sending emails with a guy who I don't know, who lived in Hawaii, who was running one of the most successful public art projects of the 2000s. And he says to me, you should come to Hawaii and meet us and see what we do. And I said, yeah, I should. But my pockets was like, what are you talking about? You can't buy a Hawaiian pizza right now. That's crazy. And so a couple of friends of mine and some family that was going to buy me a Christmas present, but I was like, don't do that. I need some cash. Helped me get out to Hawaii to spend a week and meet these people that were strangers and ended up becoming friends. And they allowed us to build a program here in Worcester that didn't really make sense to people at the time. And you know, it's very easy to look back on the public art thing and people go, oh, this is the greatest thing, and everyone uses it for marketing and it's amazing and it's loved. It wasn't at first. The people were very unsure of what was happening. Some counselors didn't want it to happen again, whatever. But the community rallied around this idea. And before I knew it, that feeling of uncertainty and of regret and of that inner voice telling me that I couldn't do things and that I was on the wrong path started to go away. And I found community. I found a purpose. I found something I really loved. And the city embraced it, And so a lot of times I'll talk to some people who are like recent college grads and they feel like their classmates got it together, right? They went and got that good job and you're just kind of in the midst of uncertainty. And I tell them, I didn't get my moment to feel like I was like him until I was like 26, 27 years old. Right? And there are plenty of stories of people who don't have those moments till they're 30, 40, 50, right? But when, Warhol had this thing like in the future, everyone will have their 15 seconds of fame. I think it's more like everyone gets an opportunity in the spotlight. Now, it may be a short opportunity, it might be a longer opportunity, but, there's an old saying about what luck is, and that's preparation meeting opportunity. And so it's a responsibility to stay curious and to stay informed and to stay ready. And eventually opportunities are going to show up. And so I would say that was my moment where it was like, all right, we break down and break through and make something shake.
Hey Che, when's the book coming out?
I don't know. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna figure that out.
All right, I'm here for you. I got the blueprint. Yeah. I'm ready for it.
I know. You got the folk. You got the folk I need.
Oh man, this dude right here. What's and you may have answered this before. It's one of my go-to questions. What's something failure taught you that success could not? What's something failure taught you that success could not?
How to take a punch.
How to take a punch.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that, Mike Tyson has that old thing. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Right? But I think that quote's not about boxing. Right? I think that's about life. We all have ideas, plans, aspirations, goals, but eventually, one way or another, life punches you in the mouth. Right? It's about how you respond to getting punched in the mouth that determines how you finish that proverbial fight.
How will you respond?
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I say it often. I like it. Man, what's I deduce you're pretty well read, dude. What's 3 go-to books for our viewers and listeners as they're on this life journey?
Let's go. A book that I've been just telling people about for the last few years that I love: Unreasonable Hospitality. Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara. You think you go into it thinking it's about being a chef, but it's not. It's an amazing book about life and how we should have goals to be and treat people the best that we can. And so I think it's a fantastic read. I would say All the Places You'll Go, Dr. Seuss. That's a book I think everybody should have in their collection. I think it's just a nice uplifting reminder sometimes from an author most of us knew and read as children at some point. And then the last one I would give you is the autobiography of Malcolm X. Here's the reason why. I had a junior high school classmate I talked to during the pandemic. And as we got off the phone and reconnected, I said, so what you got planned for the day? And she said, I'm reading the autobiography of Malcolm X. I said, yeah, we read that back in like 6th grade. Why are you reading that again all these years later? And she said to me, Malcolm X is one of the only people we learned about in school that whenever he was presented with better and different information, he openly and outwardly changed his mind. And I said, huh. And she said, right? So often we hear about these heroes that from birth, it seems, just knew what was right, what was morally righteous, what was going to work out, what success was going to be like. And he did not have that narrative. But every time he was presented with a different opportunity that he deduced was a better opportunity, he changed. And she reads it as a reminder for herself to never be stuck being who you are just because that's who you are. I said back, cool.
Never be stuck being who you are.
Just because that's who you are.
Just because that's who you are. Listen, good people. I don't know if y'all was taking notes. I wish I could have. I mean, I got some in the chat, but ooh, buddy. I think I got. I mean, this question is like you've been giving me this all day. This is my last question, y'all.
Cool.
Whose wisdom, person, a principle, a quote, a powerful teaching has helped guide the way forward for you?
I mean, there's really a lot. There's so many. There's so many. I'm gonna hit you with a quick 3-piece. My mother, every morning before I left to go to school, she would say, in life you have choices, make the right choice. Be a leader, not a follower. Every day, every week, every month, every year, from the time I went to kindergarten till I went off to college. Extremely impactful, right? Obviously, in shaping me as a person. Number two, I've said publicly before, but one of my favorite philosophers is Dory Bluefin from Finding Nemo, and she said, "Just keep swimming." And so that's always a big one, because there's always going to be waves and whatnot. And you got to just find a way to muster up the strength to keep moving forward. And then the last one, I took Latin when I was in high school and in college. And one of my favorite Latin phrases is Quo vadis, Quo vadis, which translates to where you go.
Hold on, you froze. Hold on, we need you to finish that thought, good brother. Hold on now. Quo vadis. I'm glad he spelled it for me, because I was like, Latin. There we go. He back.
Quo vadis, right? Is Latin, as it translates to where you're going, and it's not actually asking you about which space you're transversing to. It's a question about life, right? In the grand scheme of what you're doing, what you have going on, what you're thinking about, who you surround yourself with, where are you going? And I think that's a question we should all ask ourselves a lot more often. So yeah.
Where are you going? It makes me think of I always quote this. Life, you gotta have your goals program. You got two type of people. You got a wandering generality who just out there at sea in a boat, no captain, no skill, ain't got no map, no compass, just wherever the waves of the world taking them. Or you got a meaningful, specific person who's good. What you got?
Yeah. Can I say that? I have another thing I've heard, but I say it differently, but same sentiment.
Okay. Go.
In life, there's two kinds of people. There's balloons and there's strings. Right? People that are balloons, just kind of floating, being whisked by wind and other things, right? And then there are people that are strings that tether them to ensure that they and themselves can kind of go where they go. But the strings themselves sometimes need a balloon to get them to see what else is out there, right? So
I like that. I like that. I think we could do this all day, right?
We really could though.
Yo, ball for ball with quotes and theology and studies and sheesh.
Yeah.
Yo, listen, Ché Anderson, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. It was a treat for me.
Hey, my brother,
Hey, good brother. I appreciate you. I don't know. You got a final message for the people? I mean, they got more than they should be full tonight.
Man, my only thing, and it's a very, very simple thing, and it seems real basic, but I feel like it bears saying. We have a world in which what I'm about to say seems to be a radical thought, but just be a good person. I don't think that's out there. I don't think it's too much to ask. Before you move on something, just ask, like, am I being a good person? Yeah.
Powerful. Man, good brother. I appreciate you, viewers and listeners. Y'all got a treat tonight, as y'all always do, but special night. We'll be in touch. And yeah, anything you need, anywhere I could be of service, as you already know.
You already.
All right.
Always. All right, family.
Brother, appreciate you.
Talk to you.
My man. Oh, man. Wow. IG, y'all tapped in? Oh, man. I hope y'all was listening. Woo. Oh, man. That was good. Well, that's a wrap, good people. Oh, man. If this spoke to your spirit, share it forward. Somebody out there needs that reminder today. Take a moment to reflect on your 3, 2, 1. And remember, one bold step forward beats standing still. All right. Let's stay connected. Let's get my stuff up here. I want y'all to be able to tap in with me. And if anyone needs to get a hold of Mr. Ché Anderson, I could definitely facilitate that. Yes. So follow me for motivation and mindset gems at MISTER motivation. The O's are 0 for zero excuses. If you want that music, you want to get that motivational music, you tap into Mr. Motivation Music. And do remember, y'all, grab your copy of Unbreakable Valor, Triumph Through the Soul of Resilience. A book that's helping people turn adversity into purpose. You know my mantra, I fail, I grow, I win. It's a cycle of success. Do remember, coming 2026, Men's Mentorship Collective. We tapping in, fellas. I got you, man. Listen, we're going to build. This is for fellas that are stuck, fellas that are stalling, fellas that are starting over. Those dudes that's on the back nine, right? We're going to be building clarity, confidence, and consistency using the 5M formula for success. That's mindset, motivation, money management, and massive movement. We're going to do that to break cycles, build wealth, and lead with resilience. Fellas, if that's you or someone you know, tap in. Link is in bio on my Instagram to join the early interest list. Let's build together. Do remember to subscribe to the Breakthrough Bunker newsletter. Went out today, every Wednesday, for that weekly dose of insight and inspiration. And that actually, the spirit is moving me to shout out my team. Shouts out to my team. I know I'll be sending them tasks galore, and they take it with a smile, put on the to-do list, and they just execute. And none of this is possible without them. So I appreciate y'all. Double slow. I know they about to go on vacation, so I'm be short. Next week, are we doing a live next week, team? We probably are, but actually we are. Daniel Wade. Oh, y'all got to tap in. New author, dope dude. Oh, that's going to be another one too. That's going to be another one. But anyway, do remember, good people, nothing changes if nothing changes. Stay resilient. Remember, it's all about you.
I put it on my
Hood grown, NY, Brownsville, Bed-Stuy. I done came from the lowest lows, still walk with my head high. All my life, I've been through it. Made it out, and I'm getting to it. Can't tell me I didn't do it. No passing L's, we skipping clubs. No taking L's, we getting dubs.
I put it on my